Are you tired of shoveling snow, having to get bundled up every time you go outside? It's the middle of January in the Midwest. I know I'm tired of it. And it's got me thinking about, do I want to live somewhere else when I retire? So today we're going to talk about, is the snowbird lifestyle right for you?
Hey, it's another edition of Your Retirement Elevated. I'm Walter Storholt. He is financial advisor Scott Dugan. We've got a lighter topic, I guess, today, Scott. We're not really getting into the dollars and figures on today's episode, but it's a really important episode for retirees because this ends up being kind of part of the experience or the plan for many people in retirement. We're talking about the old snowbirds, and I think this will be fun to talk about because I'm sure you've got a lot of clients who fall into this category of a snowbird.
They do. And I'll tell you what kicked this off.
Yeah.
Two gentlemen that I talked to this week, Mark and Jim.
Okay.
They listen to the show, so they'll see it, hear this. I talked to both of them this week, and they both are snowbirding.
Okay.
Now, Mark and his wife recently moved to California, to the Palm Springs area, and love it out there. So I'm getting taunted by him constantly. He's like, "Hey, guess what? We planted flowers today and worked around the pool and didn't have to wear shoes." Things like that. And so they recently retired, enjoying it, loving it. And actually yesterday I had a call with Jim, and Jim ironically is in the same area. And he goes, his wife, that's her place. She loves it out there.
Yep.
They've been going out there for many, many years. They got a timeshare. And I thought, you know what? Let's do an episode about being a snowbird, because I know personally it every year becomes more and more attractive.
Yeah.
I know we just had a record snow in the Kansas City area, like 17 inches of snow, brutal cold.
Yes. And I see why this inspired you for the episode.
Yeah, I'm definitely inspired. Did a little research, and we're going to talk about it today a little more in depth.
So our goal is to look, folks, at, just a casual look, first of all, at snowbirding. Why do people do it? Why might it be something you consider? And then, of course, if you do want to do this in retirement, well, does it change the plan? Or does it introduce additional complications to take into account? So we're going to try and give you a more in-depth look at snowbirding as a decision-making process as we get into today. So obviously, some of your clients are snowbirders, Scott, and you talk about one of the spots where they are in Palm Springs. Are there any other of their favorite places that you've seen people go to? I know a few folks who go down to Arizona. We have some close friends that do that in the winter. In fact, New Year's Day, they loaded up their RV and drove down there, and they're going to be there for 4 months. And Florida, certainly, I would imagine, a popular destination too.
Yep. Actually, right now, I can tell you that Southern California, Arizona, Phoenix, Scottsdale area, Texas, definitely, south, on the coast. Florida is a big one. And actually Alabama is becoming more popular along the Gulf.
Interesting.
So we've got a lot of clients that spend time. They get out of here, either December or January. And some people it's a few weeks. Some people it's 4 or 5 months that they go down and do it. But I can tell you, there's definitely a difference. And I love the seasons for sure. I just like the winter season less and less every year. And I think especially the winter is where a lot of people just want to get out of the Midwest or the East Coast, and just get to a sunnier climate just to feel a little bit better.
Yep. There was a study done actually by a group called Storage Cafe that found that you mentioned them, Florida, California, and Arizona were, in those top locations for snowbirds. Interestingly, Texas was also on the list. Obvious that I guess it's still a warm weather location, but for additional reasons, it was an interesting place for many people to kind of choose as a snowboard location down there.
Yep. Yeah. Ironically, you've got to go, because I just had a call with a client in the Dallas-Fort Worth area today, and it was about 30 degrees there.
Yeah.
And so they're not used to that. So yeah, you got to get south of Houston pretty much to be a snowbird. It's usually down in the Galveston, Corpus Christi area where you'll see a lot of clients go.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of clients that go to Mexico as well.
Sure.
Get south of the border.
You could certainly make that international. I guess this is part of the conversation process, right? Is, it's not just what warm weather place do you want to go spend time at, but some of it could still be influenced by, well, we want to go to the warmer location, but it'd still be nice to be within a 1 day driving trip back home in case we need to come back for an important doctor's appointment or for a celebration for a family member or those
Mhm.
kinds of things. I would imagine maybe that's why something like Alabama for your main client population built up over the years kind of in the KC area, maybe a little bit more accessible than going all the way out to California or other areas where it's just maybe a little easier to get back if need be.
Yeah, definitely. And with depending on the area, my clients said that they like if they could fly back in a day.
Sure.
If they can, half a day or a day
Or
is
a
usually
direct flight. I don't have to do a connecting flight. I can do a direct
exactly,
flight.
exactly. So that's traditionally we've seen mostly Florida and Arizona.
Yeah.
Were the big ones, but yeah, Texas and then the California. I
Mhm.
actually have 3 clients that will now be going to the Palm Springs area every year.
Okay.
2 of them, one of them's timeshare. One of them rents the same house. They've rented for years, like a VRBO. And then a third client, they actually bought a second home out there. Loved it so much. They already had friends out in that area.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's that quality of life that drives the decision for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And it's also they've got the resources to do it. We're very fortunate the clients that we serve, they've got adequate resources that they can have 2 locations that they can take care of. And I think those decisions are even easier now, where if someone is not sold on having one place to go to on a continual basis. I know that's my wife and I, we don't have a location where we would want to go buy a place and like that's the place we go to year after year after year.
Yeah. You don't want the second home feel or even the returning Snowbird location.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the exploration phase. And so with today's technology, with, VRBO, Airbnbs, things like that,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to test these places out and just go try them and see what you think about the locations.
Yeah.
So a lot of different options. But I do see this as a trend for people with resources is saying, hey, we want to live life on our terms and we want a quality of life and also better weather to spend our
Yeah.
time in because, hey, if I'm in, the Palm Springs area and it's 75 degrees and sunny January, that's way better than being in the Midwest right now for sure.
Well, you talk about quality of life, and it comes out in many ways, shape, and forms. It isn't just this nebulous. Oh, the weather is better. In fact, our friends who go down to Arizona, we were just talking about this before they left, and they said, what it really is about for us is that we're healthier when we're down there for those 4 months because they're staying in an RV park. They're biking to everything. So the pottery classes that they go to, lots of pickleball. We could do a whole show about the pickleball scene, I'm sure. But he's like, I wake up, I play pickleball. I come back home, I do a little something. I go back and I play another game of pickleball. I come back, we go for a bike ride or a walk around the complex, and then I go back and play more pickleball. We make a healthy dinner, and then you know what? I go play pickleball again. He's like, it's just constant activity. I'm eating healthy, and we're always on our feet because the weather's always nice and we're moving around. So it's more than just, it feels good, but we're literally losing weight, toning muscle, like living this healthier lifestyle overall just because of the location that they've picked.
Oh, and it's so true. I mean, I get up early, I work out early in the morning, even though I have a gym in my house. I keep it fairly cool in there. And there's some mornings I just don't want to go in there. I just
a little
don't
too
want
cold
to do it.
Yep.
Because during the spring, fall, summer, I've got a garage door that opens up and it can work out. It's great. but it's not fun right now, and it would be way better in a warmer climate for sure.
Is your retirement journey truly tailored to your needs? In his book, Exceptional Retirement: Tools and Strategies for Retiring on Your Own Terms, Scott Dugan addresses the crucial questions all retirees ask. Discover the power of a clear financial decision-making process that can prevent major retirement mistakes and unlock exceptional opportunities. In the book, Scott outlines 4 essential questions that guide retirees toward successful outcomes. Don't miss out on key insights that could define your future. Available now on Amazon. Click the link in the description of this episode to get your copy of Exceptional Retirement.
One last little nuance I want to ask you about, Scott. We're talking about this so far mostly in the context of people who are already retired, but there's this new trend of, I guess they've been coined as Zoombirds, but folks who can work remotely from home.
Yeah.
They say, you know what? We could snowbird while we're still working. If
Absolutely.
we're working remotely, why not? Have you seen that catch on with your clients who are pre-retirement?
Yeah. We've actually have clients that have done it and are doing it now.
Yeah.
So with this flexibility, if you can live somewhere else, be remote, and if you're in your peak earning years, you're your peak paid time off usually in your career, if you're in your 50s or early 60s, why not live somewhere, try places out, live there, still get paid to do that, still be able to travel, do those things, and see what you like. And so I think that trend's going to be expanding. And I know we've got an episode probably coming up here pretty soon that talking about there's a trend right now of people 60 plus continuing to work, not for financial reasons, but just for social connectedness and some other things. So I think trying to be a part of something, but also having that flexibility, I think are part of the decision-making process for people.
I see my mom going through that right now, Scott. She's recently retired, just over a year now, and she's having that same kind of thought process of, I'm loving retirement, but it would be nice to still work a little bit. I developed all this great knowledge over the years. I still want to use it and maybe share it and pass it on in some way, shape. So she's going through that same sort of evolution right now of figuring that out. They're not of this snowbird. They retired to Maine, so they're not in this snowbird category. They chose to go cold.
They went the opposite way.
So I don't know. Maybe one day they'll turn into snowbirds when they get older, but they love the cold. So they're a little different in that regard. But but I could see that it's that same mentality that you're saying, the shifting nature of retirement and the snowbird that was kind of just a retiree thing blending into the working years is interesting to see.
Oh, definitely. And I think all of this comes down to making sure you've got a solid plan, because here's what it takes for all this to work is the cash flow to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about the cash flow from continuing to work funds that snowbird lifestyle. If you're retired, don't want to work anymore, then your portfolio and guaranteed income, that has to supply that cash flow to give you that freedom and independence to do those things. And so when we talk about proper planning, it's what does that personal paycheck need to be? How do we need to structure the investments to provide that paycheck, keep up with taxes and inflation and the curveballs of life? How do we manage the taxes and keep them as low as possible to stretch those dollars as far as we can? And then on the protection side of things, do we have a solid healthcare plan in place, for the immediate future and the long term if we need long-term care? And finally, make sure our estate is in order through our documents and make sure everything and all of our wishes are met and clearly outlined in that. So those are the 5 key areas of a proper plan. But if someone said, hey, if we could wave a magic wand and let you do whatever you want to do, and you said, hey, we'd love to be a snowbird, we want to, live part of time in a warmer climate. If that is a priority, we put that at the top and we develop the plan around it to make sure that the plan supports that.
Yeah.
And so again, it always starts with what's the purpose? What's the goal? What do you want to do? We'll build the plan around it to make sure you get to do what you want to do. Let us worry about the details. you worry about having an awesome retirement.
Yeah. If being a snowbird's really important to you, make sure in your discussions with your financial advisor, you're talking about that. You're mentioning that's got that presence and that forefront, and that's going to help with all of the additional decisions that need to get made. So that makes total sense, Scott. Hey, do us a favor. If you're watching the video on YouTube, leave a note in the comments, leave a comment, and let us know where you snowbird or where you would dream about snowbirding, or snowboarding if you're a snowboarder, or snowbirding in retirement. Do you have a dream location you'd like to go to? It'd be neat to see in the comments what is attractive to folks. Also, if you'd like to talk to Scott, you can certainly do that very easily. We've got links in the show notes for how you can get in touch, get in contact if you have a simple question, or if you want to dive into the planning process and find out how to make the snowbird or Zoombird life a reality if you're still in that pre-retiree stage. So don't hesitate to reach out. Just check the show notes or the description of today's show for those ways to get in touch. It's also on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. Scott, thanks for the great conversation today. This was fun, and now you've got me dreaming about going somewhere warm and doing something fun. But we're both locked into like 0-degree temperatures at the moment, so we'll go back to reality after this episode.
I'm thinking about the next time I get out of here and get to warm weather. So yes, I am envious as well.
There you go. Well, until then, have a good week, and we'll talk to everybody soon right back here on Your Retirement Elevated. Thanks for watching and listening.
Are you on the path to retirement but feel uncertain about your direction? Don't let myths and misconceptions cloud your journey. Before stepping into a lengthy retirement, gain clarity and confidence with a complimentary financial review. Schedule a conversation with Scott Dugan. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below or call us at 913-393-4724. Let's start a conversation about what's most important to you as you plan for a successful retirement.
This video has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this video is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt and Third Wheel Media LLC receive compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this video.